Hi everyone, welcome to day 3 of week 2. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and we are in our second week, almost done with our second week. Today for reading, you guys have to read page 370. Excuse me. Now on page 370, you're going to learn about our skill for the week, and then you have a worksheet to do for that skill, okay? And that is attached in your email. Then you also need to make sure that you reread that story, okay? Because rereading that story is going to help you do really good on the AR quiz. Speaking of that, don't forget to take a snapshot of your AR quiz for me and send that to me. I can look it up, but that'll make it just a lot easier and quicker. So, 3 things for reading, super quick. Excuse me. You need to read page 370, go over our comprehension skill for the week, and then you have a nice worksheet to do. It's a quick little circle or highlight, and then you can send that back to me. And then, of course, reread your story so that you're ready for that AR quiz tomorrow. Now, for language arts, this is a little bit different. It's a phonics skill, so I'm going to explain it to you. It's about listening and hearing the sounds. Great skill to practice for I read, which we didn't get to take. I know we're bummed about that. But we're going to talk about it, and then you guys have a sort to do. Last week we had a sort with suffixes, and some of you did a great job, and you read the story you were supposed to read, and you put just a whole bunch in each one, whatever you found. And then some of you put 1 in each one. Well, there were more than 1 in there. So this week, there's a bubble right here that tells you you have to put at least 10 words in the 2 categories that I'm going to tell you about, okay? There are at least 10 words that you need to sort. It's not just putting 1 here and 1 there. There's at least 10, maybe more, and maybe you can think of some others as well, okay? This right here, the double O, makes 2 different sounds, okay? It makes, and we're going to sort those sounds because we're working on phonics. Sometimes the OO sounds like ut. Okay, that's how the U sounds. Excuse me, how the double O sounds. Sometimes the double O sounds like ooh in moon. So can you hear the difference? Ut and oon. Okay, so you're going to look for other words that sound like each of those. So in the categories on your paper, you're going to have a foot, ut, and a oon. Now, one of those sounds, the oo, like moon, also can be spelled a different way. Like, let's think about the wind, blah-oo, ma-oo-oon, blah-oo-oo. They have the same sound, but of course they're not spelled the same. So when you're looking for words with the ma-oo-oon sound, they might have an EW, okay? Or maybe something else. I'm going to see if you can figure it out. I know you can, but you're looking for the same sounds in there. So you're probably going to be talking to yourself when you're doing that. That's okay. It's great practice, and that's a skill that you have to have for some of those tests that you'll have to take, okay? So let's review really quickly. In reading, you're going to read about our skill for the week. You're going to do the worksheet, and then you've got to reread that story so you're ready to take your quiz tomorrow on AR. Then you're going to do your your word sort for phonics, which is our language arts skill for the day. You're going to have a paper with a chart, a graphic organizer, and you're going to just sort those 2 vowel sounds. Easy peasy. Now the last thing is math. Now I need to explain a little thing to you on this because they used some different terminology, which means it's kind of vocabulary that I haven't really talked about. Copies. We haven't really talked about that in math. Kind of makes sense because copies is when you make something over and over again, right? So let's think about this for just a second. I have 1/2, and that's displayed here with the green. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but if I want 4 copies of the 1, 1, 2, 3, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, well, then how many parts would I have in all? Well, you guys know, because this is kind of an easy one, that 1/2 would be equal or equivalent to 4 eighths. Because if I have 4 copies of this, I'm going to need 4 copies of this, which means I'm going to have 8 as my denominator. Does that make sense? So don't let that confuse you, because on today's math, they use the word copies. That just means how many times they're doing it. Kind of makes sense to you? I made 4 copies of this piece over here, or I cut it into 4 pieces, but they call it copies. So if I made 4 copies over here, of course I got to make 4 copies over here, and then I'm going to have 8 total. So my bottom number is going to be 8. A little bit harder because they're going to have a couple story problems for you, really stretching those brains. But you know what? This will probably take the whole time, but this might not take you the whole time. So you can use a little bit of that language arts time to get the math done. Because, of course, we also have 2 IXL. Now, tomorrow, if you don't have your IXL done, I'm going to be bugging you because, remember, I can see. Everybody's going to been doing a really great job, and I have almost everyone done with everything so far this week. Just a few things we got to get checked off. So get that IXL done. IXL X3 and X4, which is more practice with these equivalent fractions. Maybe you want to do the IXL first for practice, whatever works for you. But make sure you get those things done. I did number them because sometimes we've been doing just one thing and saying, oh, I'm done. Well, sometimes we have more than one thing to do. Like, for instance, we have really 3 things to do in reading. Of course, they're pretty easy. This is reading 1 page and then doing that quick little worksheet that's in your email and then rereading the story. Might not have time for that right now, but you can take some time later and read it, or maybe you'll have to read it tomorrow before you take your AR quiz. But make sure you get it read another time. Then this sort right here, all you got to do is read page 369 because that's where you have to find the words. Trying to think of them on your own, you could do it, but if you read this page here, 369, you're going to find tons of words, at least 10 that you're going to sort with those 2 sounds, okay? And then math, you have one side of a worksheet that has just a few problems on it. There are some of them you got to think a little bit. You got to really figure out what they're asking you. Don't let that copies confuse you. That's just how many parts they made out of something. Okay, they made 4 copies of that one piece. And then they're going to figure out what would be on the bottom. We did that yesterday too, so I know you guys are getting good at that, about making those equivalent fractions. Doing that worksheet I send you, and then those 2 IXLs. You had an IXL yesterday, which almost everyone got done, which was X1, and then today is X3 and X4. I bet we'll have another one tomorrow. So if you want to have a light day on Friday, which I know we all do, we want Friday to be an easy day, make sure you get everything done today, and then maybe you'll get done faster tomorrow. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions. I'm really proud of you guys. You've been doing a really great job this week. I think we've gotten the hang of this, and we're really getting in the swing of it and getting our work done and turned in. I think everybody's kind of got the groove, and I'm really glad about that. And we're going to be done with our second week after Friday, and then we only have 3 more, and we're done. So pretty excited about that. I miss you guys so much, and I wish we were spending this time together in class, but we're going to make the best of it and get our work done and keep stretching and growing our brains. Have a great day.